Good evening. Welcome to CSB IAS Academy Current Affairs Bulletin. In today's Hindu paper, you have an article with respect to India's population data and its projections. The Lancet report prepared by Seattle based Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation have given a report about world population and we have to study about India's population growth here. According to the projections, by 2050, India's population growth will reach its peak. By 2050, India's population growth will reach its peak. In the same way, uh, as far as many prediction goes, many of the important predictions they goes, experts are saying that by 2035, India is going to surpass China as a largest populous country. This particular population growth, it will go up to 2050 and then it will fall down and then it will come down. So by 2100, the population will be less than 1 billion. Just see, India's population goes to its peak by 2050 and again by 2100 the population will come down and we cannot predict how much it is going to come down because various conditions like covid virus similar such things disasters even those things might affect. And why our population growth will come down in the second half of the that is after 2050. So from now on we have earlier we have the mentality of having 6 or 7 children, 6 or 7 kids in India till 20 30 years back. Now we have only 2 kids. The total fertility rate now it is almost stable 2.1 total TFR, total fertility rate. And our mindset have changed. Earlier we used to think that if you have more number of children, that means the family will be very happy. Now the family is thinking about less number of children, savings for the children, all those things. And even this COVID 19, post COVID 19, also, we can see the fertility rates coming down because of various factors, economic factors, psychological factors, all those things. And in this scenario, now it's a time for us to reap demographic dividend rather than worrying about demographic deficit. What is demographic dividend? Having more working age population in the entire population is dividend. It's a support to us. It's a dividend. So demographic dividend we need to reap. Otherwise, in the second half of this century, we are going to have deficit, demographic deficit. Next important news for today. Israel will buy Russia's COVID 19 vaccine if it is a serious product. Israel said that. Yesterday, there is a news that Russian President Putin announced Sputnik V. Russia have prepared a vaccination, and Putin's daughter also got this vaccine administered on her. And Israel said if Russia's product is very serious, Israel will definitely buy from Russia. Israel is also developing its own vaccine and intends to begin human trials as early as October. Israel is also developing a vaccine and it is trying to try it by human trials by October. Next important news, this is also from Hindu paper. The title of the news is From Locker Room to Classroom. From locker room to classroom. 3 4 months back, there's a news in Delhi that some school boys, ninth class, 10th class, 11th class, 12th class, school boys in their Instagram have shared some images of girls which are obscene. They have started discussing about girls in a bad manner. So, in such a scenario, how our youth, particularly the young boys who are in 16 years, 17 years of age, how they are getting their education, their moral values, So that is the issue of boys' locker room. Non-consensual sharing of images, particularly online social media. Now, with online classes, everyone have social media in their hands. Everyone will have digital media in their hands. So the digital media can be used properly, and sometimes it will be misused. So particularly if it is misused against women, it's a big problem, big moral issue, and also gender based issue. Due to COVID pandemic, we have one more issue called shadow pandemic. Shadow pandemic means domestic violence is increasing on women due to corona crisis. And one more important issue, National Commission for Women also said this. Apart from that, during corona days, more women are more engaged in cooking, cleaning, teaching children, caring old people in the house, emotional support to all these things. So unpaid work, we are completely exploiting women. Against this backdrop, UNESCO, UNICEF, UN Women, UNFPA, UNESCO, UNICEF, UN Women, UNFPA, all have supported a document, a short film made by Nandita Das. Listen to her. The title of the short film is Listen to Her. And in India, you all know, we have one more movement, which is international and also in India, Me Too movement, where women shared their plight of sexual harassment through social media platforms. School children, particularly in our new education policy, it's a very good chance and a historic opportunity to mold our school children, because the children, when they are engaged, when they are at engaged, they are very vulnerable. So to most of the things. So we need to educate them properly. And new education policy should take proper opportunity to educate the young children and ignite their minds towards gender sensitive education. More schools and more colleges should adopt gender based violence programs, where they should teach what are the effects of gender violence, what are the effects of sexual harassment, all these things. In the generation Z, we need to teach these values to the children, and new education policy should address this issue. This is a news that was I have told this from locker room to classroom, from Hindu paper. Next important news, India Maldives relations. You all know India and Maldives are members in SARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Till last year, till 2 years back, India Maldives relations from last one decade are not so fine. Particularly, Malay airport contract, Maldives cancelled to GMR and gave it to China. In the same way, India Maldives have some turmoils in the previous government, but the present government, which is in Maldives, is favorable to India. China's role in Maldives is also very serious. And now, today's news about Maldives is India Maldives signed agreement for development of 5 eco-tourism zones in Addu Atoll in Maldives. So India Maldives signed agreement for development of 5 eco-tourism zones in Addu Islands. In Maldives, there is an atoll called Addu, ADDU. Kindly locate this. See, this year for prelims, Indian Ocean islands are very important. Islands which are in the Indian Ocean are very important, and nearby islands also, like Maldives, you have to Seychelles, Mauritius. This year it is damn important. You have to study all these things. India Maldives signed agreement for the development of 5 eco-tourism zones in Addu Atoll. India and Maldives signed a contract on August 10th, 2020 for the development of 5 eco-tourism zones. They are the part of the grand project being implemented under High Impact Community Development Project. High Impact Community Development Project. Currently, 9 such projects are being implemented in Maldives. 9 such projects. So this is not the first time India is supporting Maldives. In 2004 tsunami, India supported, and Corona crisis, India have sent medical assistance to Maldives. And 2 years back, 3 years back, when there is a serious water shortage in Maldives, India have sent desalination ship to Maldives. So time and again, India is proving its friendship to Maldives. In fact, in the year 1987, India supported Maldives government through Operation Cactus. In the year 1987, India supported Maldives government through Operation Cactus. In the year 1987, Some Sri Lankan mercenaries have entered into Maldives to overthrow the government, and India helped Maldives government to retaliate that. So India proved its friendship with Maldives time and again. This is very important. And one sad news: Pranab Mukherjee. He remains critical and is on ventilator support. Seasoned politician, great administrator, a skillful orator, and a great reader and a writer. There is no area in politics which he has not touched. He entered into many positions. He mastered many ministries. With the support of Indira Gandhi in 1969, he entered into politics. Many times he was an MP, and he was 80. He is 84 years old. COVID-19 positive, and there was a brain surgery for him. He was in the ventilator. He's the 13th president of India, stalwart in Congress, and he held many posts as defense minister, finance minister, external affairs minister, commerce minister, shipping minister, industries minister, and he got Bharat Ratna in 2019. Last year he received Bharat Ratna in the same month, and 2008 he received Padma Vibhushan, and he has family connections with Bangladesh. And I think you all know in 2006 we have Indo-US nuclear deal. In that Indo-US nuclear deal, Pranab Mukherjee played a crucial role and in bringing exemption to India in NSG also, nuclear supplies group also. So let us pray that he will get well soon. Next important news: face recognition violates human rights, says UK court. Face recognition violates human rights, says UK court. First of all, what is this face recognition? See, China already experimented with this. A face recognition system uses biometrics to map facial features from a photograph or a video. It compares the information with the database of the known faces to find a match. It will help to verify. Face recognition will help to verify personal identity. For example, my photograph is there. You can have that face recognition technology and collate all the data: my Aadhaar photograph, my biometrics, my identity, and you can collate the entire data relating to me by a single photograph. So this can happen with face recognition technology. But the problem is privacy issues. The problem is privacy issues. There were many privacy advocates in the Britain who said that face recognition technology have so many privacy and security safety problems. So UK court said that, appeal court in UK said that face recognition technology test is violative of human rights. Violative of human rights. In India also last year, National Crime Records Bureau has released a request proposal to the government. Last year, NCRB, our National Crime Records Bureau, also sent a request proposal to the government for a face recognition technology in preventing the crimes, particularly missing persons, identifying the criminals, missing people, unidentified dead bodies. But in India, we have not allowed to use this face recognition technology for criminal investigation. For example, we have a scheme called Koya Paya scheme, Koya Paya portal, where missing children will be brought again to the parents. So, in such things, we can use this face recognition technology. You can even get this question: what is Koya Paya scheme? Koya Paya scheme is Ministry of Women and Child Development scheme for missing children. In India, we should not use this face recognition for surveillance, not for criminal investigation, but only like missing persons, old age people who have no memory, all this, disabled people. We can use this. In China also, they are planning to extensively use this face recognition technology. In China also. So this is the story about face recognition technology. Future mains question in civil services or group 1 exam, you can expect from this. What are the advantages and challenges of face recognition technology? What is face recognition technology? What is face recognition technology? What are the challenges? Constructively give some suggestions how to use this technology as a future technology. You might get this type of questions. Next important news. Tomorrow, Modi ji is going to launch transparent taxation, honoring the honest. So those who pay tax properly, honoring them, it's one of the important direct tax support and reform. And government also had an act this today Vivad Se Vishwas Act already there in 2020. Vivad Se Vishwas to resolve the tax disputes very fast. To resolve the tax disputes very fast. So all this thing. Tomorrow I'll tell the complete details of the scheme. Tomorrow Modi is going to launch the scheme. Transparent taxation, honoring the honest. Next important news to boost the Indian Armed Forces, Defense Acquisition Council approved deals of 8,722 crores. 8,722 crores. So, Defense Acquisition Council is going to support Indian Armed Forces by procuring new things. Crucially, these acquisitions will be made from Indian PSUs only. Indian PSUs only under Atmanirbhar initiative, in line with Atmanirbhar. So this 8,000 crores, we are going to spend most of them in Indian PSUs only. The Defense Ministry said, as a part of proposal, 106 basic trainer aircrafts will be acquired from HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So we are purchasing, we are acquiring, actually should use the word acquiring. We are acquiring 106 basic trainer aircrafts from HAL. So Defense Acquisition Council approved good procurements. And next important news for today. Next news. PM Prime Minister tomorrow, as I told you, is going to launch transparent taxation scheme. And next famous news for today for all of us as Indians. In America, the Democratic Party, you all know there are two popular parties in America. America generally follows two-party system. Though there are one or two small parties, they are negligible. Republican Party, Democratic Party. Joe Biden is a running candidate for Democrats. So Trump and Joe Biden are contesting as presidential candidates. You all know November 3rd we are going to have American elections, and an Indian origin woman, Kamala Harris, is going to contest as a vice presidential candidate from Democratic Party. She is going to contest as a vice presidential candidate from Democratic Party. So Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has named Indian origin Senator Kamala Harris as his vice presidential candidate. It is making the history by selecting first woman of color to compete on a major party's presidential ticket. Kamala Harris is an American lawyer, politician, and senator of California. She is a member of Democratic Party, and she is 55 years old, born in USA, California, and she was raised on Hinduism and Christianity. She was raised on Hinduism and Christianity. And Kamala Harris, if at all she gets elected, she will be the first woman vice president in the US. So, if at all she gets elected, she will be the first woman vice president in the US and first ever Indian American vice president of the country. First ever Indian American to rise to such a level. She has many firsts on her record. Just remember, she has many firsts, and she was first female Indian origin to become California's Attorney General. First female Indian origin to become California's Attorney General. And she also worked to have she also worked for the scheme Obamacare. Earlier, Obama have very good healthcare scheme. In that she worked. And this is very famous. She loves climate. She wanted to protect environment. She works for that. So Kamala Harris have many firsts and unique things in her nature. Let's wish her all the best to become the at least presidential candidate in the Democratic Party, vice presidential candidate, and let's hope that she'll get through the elections with success. So these are all the important current affairs today. With new current affairs, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.